Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into the fascinating story of a symbol recognized all over the world, the American flag. You see it everywhere, from front porches to the moon. But have you ever wondered how it came to be? The story of the Stars and Stripes is way more complex and interesting than you might think. It's a tale filled with revolution, myths, and a whole lot of evolution. So, let's unravel the history of the American flag. Before the iconic Stars and Stripes, the American colonies flew a variety of flags. Many were based on British symbols, which makes sense since they were British colonies. You had flags like the British Red Ensign, sometimes with modifications. But as tensions with Great Britain started to boil over in the 1760s and 70s, the colonists began to create flags that symbolized their growing unity and desire for liberty. Flags with slogans like "Don't Tread on Me," featuring a rattlesnake, became popular symbols of defiance. One of the most notable early flags was the Grand Union flag, also known as the Continental Colors. It looked very similar to the flag we have today, with 13 red and white stripes representing the colonies. But in the canton, the upper left corner, it featured the British Union Jack. This flag was first raised in January 1776 and perfectly symbolized the colonists' situation at the time. They were still part of the British Empire, but were fighting for their rights. It was a flag of transition, representing a people on the brink of a monumental decision. Then came June 14, 1777. This is the date we now celebrate as Flag Day. On this day, the Second Continental Congress passed the first Flag Act. The resolution was surprisingly brief and to the point. It stated, "Resolved, that the flag of the United States be 13 stripes, alternate red and white. That the Union be 13 stars, white in a blue field, representing a new constellation." Just like that, the Stars and Stripes was born. The stripes represented the 13 colonies, and the stars represented a new nation taking its place in the world. However, the resolution didn't specify the arrangement of the stars, the number of points they should have, or the flag's overall proportions. This led to a lot of different interpretations. Early flags saw stars arranged in a circle, in rows, or even scattered randomly. The most common arrangement was the Betsy Ross design, with 13 five-pointed stars in a circle. Now, let's talk about Betsy Ross. The story goes that in 1776, George Washington himself, along with a small committee, visited Betsy Ross, a Philadelphia upholsterer, and asked her to create the first flag. The legend says she was the one who suggested using five-pointed stars instead of the six-pointed ones Washington proposed, because she could snip one out with a single fold of cloth. It's a wonderful, patriotic story that has become a cornerstone of American folklore. But is it true? Well, historians have a lot of doubts. The story wasn't told until nearly a century later by her grandson, and there's no official documentation from the time to back it up. While Betsy Ross was a real flag maker in Philadelphia, her direct role in designing the very first flag is likely more legend than fact. Another person often credited is Francis Hopkinson, a delegate from New Jersey and a signer of the Declaration of Independence. He actually submitted a bill to Congress for his work designing the flag. While he wasn't fully paid, many historians believe he was the primary designer of the first official U.S. flag. As the United States began to grow, so did its flag. In 1795, after Vermont and Kentucky joined the Union, Congress passed the Second Flag Act. This act changed the design to 15 stripes and 15 stars. This is the very flag that flew over Fort McHenry in Baltimore during the War of 1812. Its sight, waving defiantly after a night of heavy bombardment by the British. inspired Francis Scott Key to write a poem he called Defense of Fort McHenry. That poem, set to the tune of a popular English song, would later become our national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner. So, the 15-star, 15-stripe flag holds a special place in American history, but you can imagine that adding a new stripe for every new state would quickly become impractical. The flag would get ridiculously long and unwieldy. By 1818, the country had grown to 20 states. Congress realized they needed a more sustainable plan. They passed the Third and Final Flag Act on April 4, 1818. This act established the modern design of the flag we know today. It set the number of stripes back to 13, permanently honoring the original 13 colonies, and it declared that a new star would be added to the Union for each new state that joined. The new star would be officially added on the 4th of July following the state's admission. This brilliant solution allowed the flag to evolve with the country, while still honoring its origins. From that point on, the flag changed frequently as the nation expanded westward. From 20 stars in 1818, it grew to 24 stars, then 30, then 38, as states like Illinois, Florida, and Colorado joined the Union. Each new star represented another chapter in the American story. The arrangement of the stars continued to vary, but orderly rows became more and more common. Finally, in 1912, with the addition of Arizona and New Mexico, the country had 48 states. President Taft issued an executive order that standardized the flag's proportions and the rearrangement of the stars into 6 rows of 8. This 48-star flag was the official banner for 47 years, longer than any other version at that point. It saw the country through 2 world wars and the Great Depression. A whole generation of Americans grew up knowing only this version of the flag. The final change, the one that brought us to the flag we see today, came in the mid-20th century. With the admission of Alaska in 1959 and Hawaii in 1960, 2 more stars were needed. This brought the total to 50. The government knew this was coming and actually held a nationwide design competition for the new 50-star arrangement. Over 1,000 designs were submitted. The winner was a 17-year-old high school student from Ohio named Robert G. Heft. He had actually created the 50-star flag design for a history class project and only got a B-. His teacher told him if his design was accepted by Congress, he'd change the grade to an A. Well, Robert's design was chosen, and he did get his A. His simple, elegant design of 5 rows of 6 stars alternating with 4 rows of 5 stars became the official standard on July 4, 1960, and has been flying ever since. So there you have it, from the Grand Union flag of a fledgling rebellion to the 50-star flag we know today. The American flag has been a dynamic symbol, changing and growing right alongside the nation it represents. It's more than just a piece of cloth. It's a living document of American history. Its 13 stripes tell the story of the foundation, and its 50 stars represent our journey and our unity as one nation. It's a symbol that has inspired, comforted, and united Americans for over 240 years. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you found this journey through the flag's history as interesting as I did. What's your favorite piece of flag trivia? Let me know down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more deep dives into history. We'll see you in the next one.